All right, so 615-737-9986 if you want to be a part of the conversation today. You can watch us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. We had somebody, Ken was having his beard blow in the wind during the Amigos, and somebody said that they didn't know how to watch us. They didn't know how.
What?
That's what I said.
Get with the program here. Come on.
Well, I wasn't rude about it.
I mean, fine. I'll be abrupt.
Okay.
Come on.
Do you want me to give you their numbers so you can just send them a mean text too?
Yes, please.
All right. Yeah, you can watch us. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. I don't think I've ever been on Twitch. Have you ever been on Twitch?
I have been on Twitch.
It's just a bunch of gamers.
Bunch of gaming.
Is that what you're watching? You're watching Fortnite?
Watching other people
Watching
game.
some Fortnite on Twitch.
You're watching Fortnite. You know, I used to do that as a kid because my friends wouldn't let me play. So I just watched.
My son, man, my teenage son, he'll watch, and then he'll go play,
and then
he gets ideas.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the way to do it. You learn from the pros.
That's what you do?
Yeah. I probably don't execute as well as I could, but yeah.
I have yet to find somebody's farm for my farm town on Twitch. Some,
I love the order he planted those in.
Oh, that's how you get your strawberries so big.
You got to learn the Three Sisters strategy for Farmtown. Yeah, I know a couple things about gardening. I do. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about, Beck?
No.
It's like beans, corn, and something else.
I've seen the farm game on Facebook, though, I think. Yeah.
It's on Facebook. Corn. Yeah, corn will get you a lot of money. And what was the other one? Cabbage, I think.
Oh.
I managed to kill all my fields.
The only farming we do here is the meme farming.
Yeah, we're just humble meme farmers. And boy, did we get some memes to farm yesterday, boys. I have to give you an apology. I did not know that we were 14 days into AANHPI month.
Excuse me? What did you just call me?
AANHPI month. So I said this on the Amigos. I'm going to need a fact check on when they decided to add the NH to AAPI month. Do you know when they decided to add the NH?
Fact check.
Can you get on that for me? Because I'm pretty sure they didn't change any of the graphics. This is how I know when it's different months, because on your streaming services, you get the new category that you never click. You know that? It's like depending on the month.
Yeah.
It'll be right front and center, and you go, okay, well, I'll just go over to what I wanted. Thank you. And so now it's AANHPI. I didn't know that. And maybe it's the Democrats' fault because they're just now getting to all their AANHPI month events. Kamala Harris was doing an AANHPI month event, and she was talking about how you have to sometimes doors are going to be open for you, and sometimes you got to kick them down. Oh, is that my fault or your fault? I think it's my fault.
We have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down. Excuse my language.
So I'm doing show prep last night, and I hear that clip, and I have a couple takes on the clip, but real quick, I'm doing the show prep, and Virginia's sitting next to me, and she's like, "This is not what I need to hear before I go to bed." So she's like, "Good night, Chris," and I just kept playing it over and over as she was walking upstairs, and I kept turning the volume up, just to be a troll. So she's walking up the stairs. And then I hear the bedroom door shut, so I pulled out my iPhone and I opened up the voice note in iMessages.
Oh my gosh!
And I recorded a voice note.
So ridiculous.
It's just, these are the things. I don't know why she's with me. These are the things I do. These are the things I do to just.
I'm trying to go to sleep.
Make myself smile. Like I told her about the Lawrence Taylor joke I had yesterday. I was like, yeah, one person got it. And she's like, I told you that joke would bomb. I was like, it was for me. It wasn't for the audience. Some of these things I have to do for me. I had a joke about Lawrence Taylor yesterday.
Do you want to redo it or
I guess.
give it another go? I'll be ready this time for you. Okay?
So Lawrence Taylor endorsed Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, no, endorsed Donald Trump.
Yes.
They already butchered it. He endorsed Donald Trump in New Jersey. It was a big deal. And Lawrence Taylor is most famous for his WrestleMania 11 match with Bam Bam Bigelow. But did you know he also played for the New York Giants? And I understand that nobody thinks it's funny. And my wife, I get home and I said my joke killed it. And she said it did?
Really?
And I said, yeah, I got one
got
text
one
message. I got one text message. And Ken chuckled. And she said it was a sympathy chuckle.
This is maybe a pity laugh.
So I was ready to just lay into her last night with this. So anyway, all right, so Kamala Harris, sorry, I don't mean to get off on a tangent. That Bam Bam Bigelow joke was money, though.
That was great. Good job, man.
Wrestling fans understand. Whatever. You guys are low class. So Kamala Harris is at AANHPI month, and she says this.
We have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down. Excuse my language.
All right, so I have a couple thoughts. First, can we stop demonizing Trump whenever he says BS, right? That's Madam Vice President, the best female vice president we've ever had, using the F word at a AANHPI event. So can we just stop with Trump uses foul language and that's why he's a bad guy, right? Is that over now because Kamala Harris said this?
And then you need to kick that door down.
Also, I think that it's important to point out what doors do Asian Americans need to kick down? Honestly, according to the last U.S. Census, the highest household income in America is Asian Americans. Then it's white people, okay? And then at number 3, Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders. So 2 out of the top 3 income earners, number 1 and number 3, are the group that she is saying you need to kick that door down.
And then you need to kick that door down.
What doors are we kicking down? What opportunities? Honestly, is this like the bigotry of low expectations put on a group that doesn't need the bigotry of low expectations? Because if you look at the census, Asian Americans and Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders are earning the most money in this country. Number 1, Asian Americans. Number 2, white people. Number 3, Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders. Top 3. They have the number 1 and the number 3 spot. So what game are we playing here? Why does the left always have this victim mentality? And why do they need to make 2 out of the top 3 richest groups in America victims? Right? Is this not chaotic? Does this not make I feel like I'm taking crazy pills someday. I'm like, what do you mean they have to kick down doors? They're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing awesome. But Kamala Harris says, those boundaries are there.
And then you need to kick that door down.
And then she's got the Woo crew in there just clapping like seals. I feel like Asian Americans have to be insulted by that. I feel like Native Hawaiians and other Pacific Islanders have to be insulted by that. You tell me, if we have any Asian Americans or Native Hawaiians or other Pacific Islanders listening, does that insult you? Because it seems like these doors have been kicked down a long time ago. So what is the vice president talking about? I'll be honest with you, she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She's leaning on classic left talking points and pushing the victim mentality. It wasn't all she talked about. She also talked about the Second Amendment. Did you know that she's actually a fan of the Second Amendment?
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment.
I was like, whoa. Kamala Harris is in favor of the Second Amendment?
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment.
Wait for it.
And I believe we need an assault weapons ban. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws.
Okay.
Right?
So you're not really in favor of the Second Amendment at all? Correct? I don't think that these two things can coexist.
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. And I believe we need an assault weapons ban. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws. Right?
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Kamala. That means you're not in favor of the Second Amendment. That's what that means. And then they had another event. This time it was with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This is at the White House. They're having their AANHPI event because why not? It's AANHPI month. They have to give these disadvantaged Asian Americans and Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islanders opportunities like the rest of us, even though they're in the top 3 income earners in the country in their race and ethnic groups. This is Joe Biden.
Good afternoon,
This is Kamala Harris introducing Joe.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Those who can. Those who have a chair.
So it's off to a roaring start. Joe Biden gets up there, and this is what he says about Kamala Harris.
My name's Joe Biden. I work for Kamala Harris. I asked her to be my vice president, but I knew I needed somebody smarter than me.
Oh, that he asked Kamala Harris to be his vice president because he needed anybody smarter than him. I feel like that's a very, very low bar. Very low bar. You could have opened up the phone book and pointed, and I felt like you'd be doing pretty good, Mr. President. And somebody smarter than you, that's Kamala Harris.
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. And I believe we need an assault weapons ban. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws. Right?
Yeah, right. That's somebody smarter than Joe Biden. Again, the bar is low. Meanwhile, my producer, Mac, is getting personal calls again. Was that Scott Sapicki?
No, that was... That's Dan and Stephen Huntland. They call me every day.
All right.
Just say what's up.
Mac gets more phone calls than I do. I swear. If you want to join the conversation or just say hi to Mac, 615-737-9986. It's 9:21 on Super Talk, 99.7 WTN. So if you want to meet some guys that are actually in favor of the Second Amendment, go see my friends at the Glock store. I went to my first training session on Friday last week. Unreal. I met up with Kevin. His friends call him Boone. I wasn't sure if he was going to let me call him that, so I stuck with Kevin. So, we'll grow that friendship because I'm going back for more training lessons. I cannot say enough nice things about the Glock store. So I show up early, as I tend to, because the latest I want to be is on time. So I'm hanging out there for about 30 minutes inside the store. There's about 10 employees walking around. Every single employee says to me, "Sir, you need any help with anything? Sir, can I help you find something?" The nicest people work at the Glock store. And then I got myself in these Shoot 270 rooms. They don't have lanes at the Glock store. They have wide open rooms. And I had my first training session. It was unreal. Kevin is one of the smartest guys I've ever met. He was really, really great with training tips and tips to train at home. And I learned a lot. I cannot wait to go back. If you haven't been to the Glock store yet, you should come check these guys out. And they're actually having an open house June 1st. It's a can't miss event coming up fast. Glock Store's fourth annual open house, Saturday, June 1st, 10 to 2. Where else are you going to be able to go where they're giving away over $12,000 worth of incredible prizes? And yeah, I know just a couple days ago, I said it was $10,000 worth of prizes. Now it's $12,000 worth of prizes because this raffle list just keeps growing and growing. Red Dot Optics from Vortex, weapon lights with lasers from Nightstick, pistol and rifle bags from Savior. And again, they're adding more and more every day. Plus, there's going to be some cool competitions. The Nightstick low light, no light competition is back, and there's going to be hourly prizes for the top score. I had never seen these the low light, no light shooting rooms, but they do this in the Shoot 270 rooms. You can watch the videos at the Glock store on their big screens, and it's like the room goes dark and you train in the dark. It is awesome. Also, the Fast and Accurate competition is back as well, with a top shooter winning a Glock 19, all dressed up to show your Tennessee pride. Maybe you're not up to the task of winning a shooting competition yet. Well, you'll be in the right place to sign up for lessons. So you're in the lane to win come the 5th open house. But you could also enter to win a Glock Store customized Glock worth $1,700. You only need to be there to enter, not to win. Plus, I'll be there. Matt Murphy will be there. Dan Mandis will be there June 1st, 10 to 2 at the one and only Glock Store, minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere, especially on June 1st.
Fort Campbell getting some heavy rain right now. We're tracking the risk for severe weather, which has increased this morning. A Middle Tennessee Police Department warning about thieves watching and then following you after you go to the ATM. This and more at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, Instagram at Chris Hand on Air. I asked Mac to fact check when they added the NH to AAPI month. It's now AANHPI. Mac, give me an update on the fact check, man.
So I couldn't find any sort of date. I mean,
This isn't starting good. You couldn't find anything?
I mean, the one website that I really found that even talked about the actual change from AAPI to AANHPI was, you'll never guess.
What?
Nickelodeon.com. That's all I got, man.
Why am I not surprised?
That's all I got, man.
So, well, we're not going to use them as a trusted source. You know, we canceled Nickelodeon after all the Dan Schneider stuff came out.
Did I find it? Wait, man, did I find an answer here?
Oh. Did we get it?
Did we get it? Is this...
Ladies and gentlemen.
In 2021, approximately...
We got him.
Okay, yep, 2021.
2021?
Proclamation by the White House may officially become Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month.
Now, what's the difference between Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander? Because is Hawaii not an island in the Pacific? Can you fact check that for me?
What's the difference? Okay, gotcha.
Because I was under the impression that Pacific Islanders were people that lived on islands in the Pacific.
Canceled.
It got canceled?
Yep. Just came through. Breaking news. You're canceled.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, we'll be back after Ken Weaver's newscast with an apology. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$9:30 on the dot this Tuesday morning. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And portions of Middle Tennessee have been upgraded to a slight risk for severe weather this afternoon. National Weather Service says a line of storms expected to develop over West Tennessee, then push east through our area this afternoon. Full forecast coming up in 2 minutes. Police warning for Middle Tennessee. The Franklin Police Department warning residents about the next time you go to an ATM to withdraw money. A news release says they've taken multiple reports of bank jugging in recent weeks. Bank jugging occurs when bad guys follow people to rob them after they withdraw cash. There's been a spike in those reports lately. Wars rage on in Ukraine and Gaza, and Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Ukraine this week. He met today with President Zelensky.
A strong, successful, thriving, free Ukraine is the best possible rebuke to Putin.
Meanwhile, Vladimir Putin today announcing he's heading to China for a state visit later this month. And that's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Thank you, Ken. Hey, it's Chris Hand from my friends at Paul Winkler Inc. You know Paul, I know Paul. He runs his investor coaching show every Saturday from 3 to 6. I don't know if you listened last weekend, but he was giving me some shout outs. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, so I want to give him some shout outs too. He's been hosting that show for over 20 years. I listened to the show before I got my show here, and when I did get my show here, I was like, man, I want to work with Paul. My wife listened to the show. She's like, yeah, you have to work with Paul. And as we got to know Paul, we found out that he got that show after he spent time studying under an economist who went on to win a Nobel Prize. That's how Paul got his feet wet in the industry. That's pretty cool. He's also an avid collector of financial planning designations. He has up to 8 now. So, of course, my wife and I wanted to work with Paul, and we do. When I came on board, his was the firm I wanted to work with. And here's why. He holds himself to the highest level of fiduciary status. Because of that, Paul demands that I tell you I'm paid every time these commercials air. He wants the honesty. He wants the transparency. Where else do you hear that? I also like that Paul's team does nothing on commission. They really focus on education, and they'll educate you every step of the way, so that way when you're making financial decisions for your future, you never have that uneasy feeling of blind trust. They'll look at your whole financial picture. That's going to be unique to you, and then they'll help you make decisions. Set up a 15-minute phone call today. That's how you get started. You will not be sorry once you talk to Paul. I had my 15-minute conversation with Paul. It turned into over an hour. We broke some bread, and I couldn't be happier with that decision. You're going to be happy too. Set up your 15-minute phone call today. Go to paulwinkler.com. That's paulwinkler.com.
The Guaranteed Offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
My name's Joe Biden. I work for Kamala Harris. I asked her to be my vice president, but I knew I needed somebody smarter than me.
He knew it. He knew it. At least he knows that. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN 937. My name is Chris Hand. That was Joe Biden. He's doing an AANHPI speech. What is it? Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander.
Yes.
Yep. Have you watched any of the AANHPI recommended movies on your preferred streaming service this month?
I have not.
What a bigot. That's all I'm watching. It's that time of year. My kids look more forward to AANHPI month than Christmas. This is the best. It's the best. So we're having some fun with that. He did say something that I thought was weird. He said he knew he needed someone smarter than him. And I thought to myself, where's Hunter? He's the smartest guy you know. So he even screwed up the VP pick, clearly. Speaking of Hunter, there's been a lot of talk about Trump's trials, but Hunter's going to trial soon too. Mark the date, June 3rd. Hunter Biden's trial on federal gun charges will begin in Delaware. It's Hunter's latest attempt to prevent this from happening. He doesn't want it to go to trial. That got quashed. Judge Mary Ellen Norica confirmed that proceedings will commence as planned the first week of June. It's going to be wild because I would imagine, and maybe not the way they've been dragging this thing out, but I would imagine that Trump's trial is going to be done, right? The way it's pacing out. You've been tracking this pretty closely with the way you do news. Cohen is really the last witness that they have, correct?
That's what it feels like, yeah.
So theoretically, this thing is going to be over by then or right around then. And then no other court cases are going to be coming up before the election, but the president's son is going to be in court. Isn't that amazing? It's like poetry. Hunter's going to be in court. Lawyers for the president's son asked the Third United States Circuit Court of Appeals to reverse the judge's recent rejection of their bid to dismiss the case. However, a 3-judge panel sided with her last Thursday, said the trial's got to go forth. According to the Associated Press, the panel ruled that way because it had reviewed the merits of the request. Not because it had reviewed the merits of the request, but because they simply did not have the jurisdiction to adjudicate the issue at hand. Shortly after the Court of Appeals ruling, the judge said trial is going to begin June 3rd. And that's likely going to last between 3 and 6 days. It's pretty quick. Hunter Biden's lawyers later tried to have the case dismissed on the grounds that the prosecution was unconstitutional, but the judge said no. So in case you missed this, the president's son was accused of lying on an FBI background check before purchasing a firearm. That's a no-no. He claimed that he was a drug user. He claimed he was not a drug user when he actually was. And later, he revealed himself in his own memoir that he was a drug addict. It's amazing, too. People keep getting themselves in trouble with their own autobiographies. Autobiographies have to be the worst idea currently in politics because everybody keeps screwing themselves over in their own words. On both sides. You had Kristi Noem shooting dogs and meeting Kim Jong-un, or not meeting Kim Jong-un. And then you have Hunter Biden. He says he lying on federal background checks, saying he's not a drug user. And then in his book saying totally was smoking crack and or Parmesan cheese. Actually said that. Not a joke. He actually said that in an ABC interview. He said he would pick up Parmesan cheese and hope it was crack.
That is not a joke. That is a natural fact.
It is. And then Jen Psaki got herself in trouble with her autobiography recently as well. She said that Joe Biden did not check his watch when the service members from Afghanistan were returned after the botched withdrawal. It's on video that he checked his watch. And she said that that's not true. I think it's the safest move in politics right now to not write an autobiography or cancel the one in progress.
Yep.
What do you need? What are we doing?
Yeah. Bad, man.
But this is what politicians do. They love the money grab, right? They can't stay away from the money grab. on both sides. This is not exclusive to Democrats, not exclusive to Republicans. This is just the people in those jobs. They want the money, so they write the book. This is what they do. So Hunter Biden's trial starts June 3rd. I'm looking forward to that. I got off on a tangent. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. I was trying to focus on the special month that we have going on, AANHPI month, and the president's speech at their AANHPI event yesterday. Joe Biden was trying to explain why AANHPI month is so important, and the best that we could get was an absolute fresh word salad.
There is no singular Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander identity and diversity of those cultures, the breadth of achievement, and shape the strength and fabric of this country.
I have no idea what that means. There's no, hold on, one more time.
There is no singular Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander identity and diversity of those cultures, the breadth of achievement, and shape the strength and fabric of this country.
There's no Native American.
It makes no sense.
It makes no, I'm trying to decipher it, and it's like, I feel like I have the old AOL dial-up tone in my head. Do you know what I mean? I'm really listening. And I've listened to this when I do my audio the night before. I listen to these clips 10 to 15 times to really try and wrap my head around what's being said. And I'm on like number 20 on this one, and I still don't quite get it.
There is no singular Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander identity and diversity of those cultures, the breadth of achievement, and shape the strength and fabric of this country.
There's no Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander culture or identity or diversity and their achievements or breadth of achievements that haven't shaped the identity of this country.
Bingo.
Okay. I think it's safe to say he nailed it.
Well, did he have on a mask?
I wish he did. Depending on which conspiracy theories you follow on the internet, he's always wearing a mask. They say, have you seen those?
Yes.
Like, it's not him. It's not him. It's a guy in a mask.
What?
You haven't seen those?
What's the conspiracy?
That's like, it's sometimes it's not real, Joe. It's
I've seen that.
Guy in a mask.
Yeah.
So, to be fair.
Oh, gotcha.
To be fair, have you seen some of those masks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like the skin masks where like it makes you look like another person.
Bryan Cranston wore the Walter White one. I mean, it was a mask of like kind of himself, but like, yeah, it was crazy. He walked around Comic-Con, no one knew it was him, then took it off. Yeah.
It's creepy.
It's spooky.
It is very weird.
It's spooky. So I get where the conspiracy theory comes from, but then you hear him talk and you go, no, that's Joe.
It matters now nearly 40% of NAAH and NHPI students rely on Pell Grants to get to college.
I mean...
That's what's going on.
Of NAAH and NHPI students.
To be fair, we could do this for Mitch McConnell, too.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're equal opportunity.
That goes back to the web crawler days.
But yeah, those conspiracy theorists, it's like, oh, he's wearing a mask. Like, have you heard him talk?
That's him.
Yeah, that's him. That's him. Poor Joe. This is elder abuse. His wife should be charged with elder abuse. My wife would never put me through this.
It's I mean, it's been happening for a while now, too. This was over a year ago, this one.
And Joan Shengang, I'm going to pass her, Shanga Kawawa.
I keep that one around for moments like that.
That's like, that's
rare.
That's one to keep in the back pocket. You're not sure when you're going to need it.
No, but when I do.
You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Shabanga Kawa.
Let me see what pronounce him.
Goodness.
Yep, that's Joe.
I could go on, but look, the point here is we're lowering costs, expanding opportunities, and protecting freedoms.
Oh, I could go on, but we're lowering costs. I thought the opposite was true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought costs were too high, right? Right? Or, no. Costs are too low.
We understand that prices, again, are too low.
Yeah, come on.
And what would AANHPI events be? What would they be without a shameless plug for abortion?
The Camel are going to keep fighting to restore Roe v. Wade until it's the law of the land again.
It's like everybody's like, what is this? I thought we were at a different event.
Yeah. He might think he is at a different event.
This is fair. This is fair.
They're kind of running together now.
One event melts into the next one. Unbelievable. And this is the guy we have in charge. And this is why they have to wage lawfare on Donald Trump, because, Joe. This is all they have. Also, did you see the story about Ashley Biden and Snopes? Oh, man. You know Snopes, the esteemed fact-checking website, which was started by a dude with a neck beard and his wife. He later divorced his wife, brought in a new wife and a cat. That's who runs Snopes. I think the cat is upper management, full disclosure. So
a neck beard.
He does. He's got a neck beard. So anyway, the neck beard that runs Snopes, they reversed a fact check. Ashley Biden's diary is real. This has been claimed as false for years. I mean, this came out during the 2020 election. And this was another story that the mainstream media and the left put their thumb on and social media banned. And you had the neckbeard at Snopes saying it's false. Well, Snopes has reversed their fact check. Why? Well, Ashley Biden herself revealed in a letter to a judge her stolen diary is authentic. Ashley Biden's words. You and I have known this for a while. If you're within the listening range of WTN, you understand this. But this is a monumental moment. Snopes is a left-wing organization, and they have reversed their previous fact check, which claimed that the diary, which was purported to have been written by the president's daughter, Ashley Biden, was unproven to be authentic, indicating it was a fake. Well, Ashley Biden herself said it's not. It's not fake. This is huge. Because according to her own words, she wrote in the diary, "Was I molested?" She also wrote that she had been hypersexualized as a child and had taken probably not appropriate showers with her father, Joe Biden. This is a big deal that they're finally admitting this is true. The letter from the president's daughter to the judge stated, "After being a victim of a crime in my early 20s, I developed PTSD. The journal that was stolen was part of my efforts to heal. I'm a private citizen targeted only because my father happened to be running for president. In other words, the extensive work that I've done to move past my trauma was undone. The defendant's actions have created a constant environment of anxiety, fear, and intimidation in which my innermost thoughts are constantly distorted and manipulated." I don't know how we can manipulate that. It's your own words saying that you had taken probably not appropriate showers with your own father as a child. Asking questions like, had I been molested? But she did state that the diary will be used to peddle grotesque lies by distorting my stream of consciousness thoughts. These are your words. The mainstream media said that was a lie. Snopes said that this was unproven. And now everybody has to eat their words because the fact check says it's true. It's 9:51 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Tracking the risk of severe weather, it is elevated from this morning. Middle Tennessee police warning about thieves watching you, then following you from ATMs. Details on a deadly bus crash. Trump hush money trial update. Trump allies show up there in New York City. All this and more at 10 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It is 9:58 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We got a first-time texter, 4309, and they said, Ken Weaver has a $1 million voice.
Bingo.
Well,
I think that's low.
Where's my money?
Yeah. I would appraise it much higher. I would, personally. All right, on the way, we got a lot to talk about. At 11 o'clock, John Emechukwu, he's going to come on. At 10:35, I found a member of the Kansas City Chiefs I like. I did. You're already smiling. You know exactly where I'm going.
I know where you're going with that.
Yeah. I'm going to get his jersey. Plus we have updates on 2024. We have updates on Trump's trial and more. Hang out with us. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ten o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Portions of Middle Tennessee now upgraded to a slight risk for severe weather this afternoon. National Weather Service says a line of storms is expected to develop over West Tennessee, then push east through Middle Tennessee this afternoon. Full forecast in 2 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, police say to keep an eye out for thieves around the ATM. The Tennessean says Franklin police put out a news release warning about an uptick in reports of so-called bank jugging. Bank jugging is when people watch people withdraw money from an ATM, then follow them to another location and rob them. Franklin PD says they've taken multiple reports of bank jugging in recent weeks. And we're getting information about that deadly bus crash in Florida.
The Florida Highway Patrol and Marion County Fire Rescue say a bus carrying 53 laborers to a watermelon farm was headed west on a two-lane highway when a Ford Ranger coming in the opposite direction swerved into the oncoming lane. Images from the scene show substantial damage to the pickup truck and the bus lying on its side in a field.
That's Jim Ryan reporting. In the New York City hush money trial of former President Trump, the judge won't let Trump respond to attacks by prosecutorial witnesses, so allies like Speaker of the House Mike Johnson have shown up to do it for him. Johnson today attacking the credibility of the prosecution's key witness, former Trump attorney Michael Cohen.
This is a man who is clearly on a mission for personal revenge, and who is widely known as a witness who has trouble with the truth.
Cohen told the jury yesterday in the hush money trial that former President Trump played a pivotal role in orchestrating payments to silence stories after the Access Hollywood tape came out before the election in 2016. Today, testimony could get more heated as the defense team will cross-examine Cohen. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
I mean, the voice is definitely worth $2 million. Easy.
That might put baloney on the table.
It's Chris Hand for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Listen, it's that time of year to get your AC serviced. I was delaying getting my AC system serviced, and I had a problem pop up. I was telling you, get yours serviced so you don't have a problem pop up, and I wasn't practicing what I preached. But luckily, I'm a Beehive member. So when I had the problem pop up with my AC, they were at my home in less than an hour. My friend Joe Henry came in. He fixed what I needed to be fixed, and we're back up and running. Don't wait like I did for a problem to pop up with your AC this time of year. Be proactive. Keep your unit in tip-top shape, tippy-toppy, as my friends at Busy Bee like to say. Whether you need that annual maintenance, repair, or replacement, plumbing, heating, or air system, call the guys that I trust. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. And if you do need to replace your AC, right now, when you purchase a select new unit, you can get a free air duct cleaning, fogging, and UV light home treatment for free. Maybe you need some plumbing help. Well, they have some specials on that as well. Tankless water heater, how about $500 off? Maybe an upright Essency water heater, also $500 off. The specials keep rolling at Busy Bee, and they also offer up to 12 months with no interest, no payment, with approved credit. That is the Busy Bee way. Also, you got to sign up to be a Beehive member. It really saved my skin when my AC went out. When you become a Beehive member, it's just $99. This is not expensive, but you receive a lot of value. 3 annual tune-ups on your heating, cooling, and plumbing. 10% discount on all repairs. Priority front-of-the-line service. $100 annual accrued replacement credit with a maximum of $1,000. No overtime or holiday fees. And exclusive Beehive member promotions. If you're not a Beehive member, you should become one today. Again, it's only $99. Plus, they'll come see you on Saturday. They always have those convenient availability hours for your maintenance calls, so you'll never be left without your AC over the summer. Busy Bee, your Root Pro partner for satisfaction guaranteed. Call my friends, Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 615-775-7833. That's 615-775-7833. Online at busybeehvac.com. It's 10:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. You can find me on Twitter, True Social, and Instagram at Chris Hand on Air. Same handle for all of them, at Chris Hand on Air. Hit the follow button. I will follow back. Mac is on Twitter as well. Mac J. Maury 25. Follow him. I can't make any promises about what Mac does. He doesn't even answer. He doesn't even answer my DMs.
Did I not answer one of your DMs?
I send you memes all the time.
That's true. You do.
I don't even get an emoji reaction.
No, I'm laughing.
But the memes are solid.
They are. Oh gosh, come on.
I'm the best at finding memes. I don't make them. I just steal them from others and repurpose for my own amusement. All right, so find me on the socials. All right, I'll send you memes too. I promise. Got a text here from Joe. He says, "You guys are clearly having too much fun this morning. What a great job y'all have making 7 figures." And getting to laugh and get around with each other on the air over a few hours. I want to go back to school and get that job. I mean, it's like 4 out of 5 facts.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
We make 4.5 figures.
Yeah. It's around that.
You know,
7 figures. I wish, Joe. The rest is right though. We do have a great time.
This is yeah. We do have fun. Also, 0397 texted in and said, Ken has a $2 million voice, but the $2 million would mean Fritz doesn't have to run around the wiener dog races for extra household cash anymore.
Fritzy.
I love that everybody knows Fritz.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah, he's getting a haircut today.
Aww.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, he's going to look like a perfectly fat little packaged sausage. All we do is leave the hair on his toes.
Oh, I love it.
I love that. All right, cool. Well, tell Fritz have a good haircut.
Yep.
Yeah, we love Fritz. Frank in Antioch has a call. Frank, what do you want to talk about, man?
Well, I just came home from the land of the almost did it derogatory. The mentally handicapped liberals. I was up in Michigan, and Monday they announced on the news that the governor is suing the major manufacturers of cars because they produce fossil fuel burning automobiles that are polluting the Michigan air. So I think we should open invitations to the major manufacturers and tell them they have a home in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, come on, bring your business here. This is the thing about liberal policies is that they force everybody out of their states, and then they go, what happened?
I just couldn't believe that she was so proud to say that she is suing all of the major manufacturers for pollution from the vehicles that they manufacture.
Michigan is such a mess, man, and I appreciate the call. I've lived there. I lived there, and I said it's a beautiful state. It would be so much better with a better local government. In fact, so my wife, her uncle lives up in Michigan. Her cousins live up in Michigan, and it was Mother's Day. I mean, gosh, 8 years ago, we had a bunch of people over our house. My daughter was born in Michigan. It might have been longer than 8 years ago. That doesn't matter. So we're there, and we're talking about politics because, of course, this.
It's lovely.
My wife says, "Don't bring up politics." Of course not. Of course not. So we're talking politics, and I remember I looked around and I said, guys, like the state's kind of a mess, right? Why wouldn't we've been voting Democrat here for 60 years? Why wouldn't we just give the other side a try? You should have seen the death stare that I got. People couldn't believe I said that. But then you see things like Governor Gretchen Whitmer trying to sue auto manufacturers for pollution. It's like, do you not understand what built your state? What made Detroit Paris of the Midwest? You missed it. You jumped the shark. You jumped the shark. But that's Michigan for you. Frank in Oak Grove, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man?
I have add on to Frank from where we just called from, Antioch. And a few years ago, Governor Gitmer, got in hot water because her husband was trying to get a yacht or some large boat back into the water during COVID. And I remember that being a big news story. So obviously she's got a gas fueled or diesel fueled large boat, and she probably drives cars to and from work that are electric, and she certainly doesn't walk. So I want to pull it in there.
Yeah, no, I remember that. That was during COVID. Thanks for the call. So during COVID, she got busted. The entire state shut down, and they're trying to put their boat back in the water. Nobody else could put boats in the water. They also said that the protests against COVID were killing people, but the Black Lives Matter protests were liberating people. This is what they do. Daryl, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man?
Hey, buddy. I want to make a comment on this guy that texted you about the 2-3 hours of talk a day, and you're happy-go-lucky.
Yes, sir.
There's a reason why they call Dan Menace the hardest working man on radio, because I know behind the scenes, I've got a buddy of mine that does this. I know behind the scenes, they don't see the 16, 17 hours you guys do research.
Yep.
So what I know Michael Del Giorno told one guy one morning, he got mad, and he told the guy, he said, what I want you to do is sit down for 5 days, just 5 days, do no research, and I want you to talk for 3 hours about current events and see how, after 5 days, how much fun it is.
Yeah. I mean, full disclosure, I get where you're at. Dan is the hardest working guy in radio.
Oh, for sure.
He gets up at 1 a.m.
Yeah.
and starts prepping every day.
Yep.
The morning has to be one of the hardest shifts to do. I don't envy it. I do all my research the night before. Full disclosure, I don't really view the research as work, and it was stuff that I would do for fun anyway, because I'm like warped like that. It's fun. It's fun to read the news.
Yeah, not to mention Dan, going to bed at 6,
And then he's got his PD duties all afternoon.
Yep.
The guy doesn't stop working. In fact, he's working right now.
Churn the butter.
Yep. He's old school.
That's what he does, man.
It's evident.
Super dope.
No, we love Dan. Best boss I've ever had.
Bingo.
Hands down. All right, so do we? Let me channel my inner Dan. You want to do some content?
All right,
let's move on. All right, so we have court cases today. Is Trump back in court? No, it's Wednesday. So they have no, it's Tuesday. Yeah, they're in court. Say this is, I don't know what day it is. Days
I was like, what, Wednesday?
Days are, who follows a calendar? All right, so Trump is back in court. Yesterday, he's in court. Michael Cohen is giving his testimony. Trump outside the courtroom, he doesn't care about this gag order, does he? He just rips the judge apart.
But we have a corrupt judge, and we have a judge who's highly conflicted, and he's keeping me from campaigning. He's an appointed New York judge. He's appointed. You know who appointed him? Democrat politicians. He's appointed. He's a corrupt judge, and he's a conflicted judge, and he ought to let us go out and campaign and get rid of this scam. Every single legal analyst, even CNN, even MSDNC, they're saying there's no case here.
No, there's no case, and I'm ready for this thing to be over. Here's the thing that I think is interesting to point out. Trump keeps saying he's not allowed to campaign, right? If we were to add up the crowds from his Michigan rally, his Wisconsin rally, and his New Jersey rally, and then that just those three, right, during the court, during his trial, and then we added up the number of attendees at all the Joe Biden events, while Joe can campaign because he's not in a courtroom, who do you think wins that tally? Who do you think has actually touched more potential voters during this time? Trump. The man had 100,000 people show up to New Jersey, a blue state. It's unbelievable. Now, another thing Trump said outside the courtroom is like, look into the judge, look into the corruption and the conflicts of interest that are out there. And more conflicts keep popping up. We understand that his daughter is a Democrat operative. We understand that we're speaking about Gretchen Whitmer. Gretchen Whitmer paid the Judge Merchan's daughter. Arizona Democrats have paid Judge Merchan's daughter. And now we're finding out that this Democrat operative daughter of the New York City judge in the Trump trial also aided in the effort to kick Trump off the Colorado ballot. Woo! Conflict of interest, that seems like an understatement. The Brennan Center for Justice filed an amicus brief in support of the Supreme Court rejecting Trump's appeal of the Colorado Supreme Court's decision to remove him from the ballot. Authentic Campaigns, which is the digital marketing and fundraising agency run by the daughter of Judge Merchan, who's overseeing the falsified business records case against Trump, has been revealed to work with that group, which has sought to take Trump off the Colorado ballot. Lauren Merchan, her company, worked with the Brennan Center for Justice. It's highlighted on the company's Our Work page. The Brennan Center for Justice, again, were the ones that filed the amicus brief in support of the Supreme Court rejecting Trump's appeal of the Colorado Supreme Court decision to remove him from the ballot. Natalie Winters reported that for the War Room. They said the brief urges the court to reject Trump's attempts to revive the independent state legislature theory on appeal. The Brennan Center wrote, the push to remove Trump ultimately failed in the high court. You know that story. We know that story, 9-0, in favor of keeping him on the ballot. But the Brennan Center is still an active client with Authentic Campaigns, who employs Lauren Merchan, who is a Democrat operative. And they've worked together since at least 2023. Authentic Campaigns said that it has boosted the organization's newsletter subscribers by 300,000 new names, a 204% increase, and seamlessly integrated diverse platforms and mediums to expand the Brennan Center's reach. Very conflicted, wouldn't you say? I think so. I think that there's absolutely a conflict of interest. The media doesn't focus on that. No. The media is far more focused on, they're focused on Michael Cohen. J.D. Vance showed up to support Trump at the trial. Tommy Tuberville showed up to the trial to support Trump. J.D. Vance and Tuberville were outside the courtroom, and they're showing support for Trump. J.D. Vance had this to say about Michael Cohen.
First of all, Michael Cohen is the prosecution's star witness. This guy is a convicted felon who admitted in his testimony that he secretly recorded his former employer, that he only did it once, allegedly, and that this was supposed to help Donald Trump. Does any reasonable, sensible person believe anything that Michael Cohen says? I don't think that they should, and I actually think that his testimony is going to hurt with any reasonable juror, and hopefully we have a few of those.
I mean, that's the hope, right? That we have some reasonable jurors. But this is why we're nervous, because the case is in New York City. Do you think that they have a few reasonable jurors? Hopefully. And then J.D. Vance goes on and says what Trump can't say because of the gag order. Though, to be fair, Trump has basically been saying it.
The thing that the president is prevented from saying, which is a disgrace, is that every single person involved in this prosecution is practically a Democratic political operative. The judge inside, his daughter is making millions of dollars running against Donald Trump, raising money for Donald Trump's political opponents. The number 3 person in the Department of Justice, Biden's Department of Justice, left to become a local prosecutor to go after Donald Trump. And of course, there's Alvin Bragg, a Soros-funded prosecutor who promised to go after Donald Trump and now is doing exactly that.
Fat Alvin is what Trump affectionately referred to Alvin Bragg as yesterday. Fat Alvin. I don't think Trump cares about the gag order one bit. But whether you love Trump or hate him, what's happening to Trump in the courtroom, J.D. Vance says, is a threat to democracy. And I think this is an interesting pivot. Because the threat to democracy, that's been Democrats' talking points, right? But we saw in recent polling that actually America's pretty split on who's a bigger threat to democracy, Trump or Joe Biden. And I think that the Democrats are actually making a calculated move here when J.D. Vance says what's happening in the courtroom is a threat to democracy. They're taking a term that the Democrats have used and they're repackaging it because Americans understand what time it is.
Now, look, whether you love Donald Trump, whether you like Donald Trump, or whether you're a Democrat or don't care about politics, what's going on inside that courtroom is a threat to American democracy, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot have a country where you get to prosecute your political opponents instead of persuading voters. Joe Biden's entire strategy is to try to distract from inflation at home and war overseas with this sham trial. I just want to live in a reasonable country where we try to persuade voters in our politics. We don't try to throw our political opponents in jail.
Yeah, I think that is a reasonable ask. Although this country, these past 3 years, has been anything but reasonable under Joe Biden. We have wars, we have inflation, we have a banana republic going after political opponents. It's 1021 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Risk of severe weather increases. Head-on crash involving multiple fatalities. And a Middle Tennessee Police Department warning about people following you after you withdraw money from an ATM. These stories and more at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It's 10:25 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name's Chris Hand, Mac Morey producing, Ken in the newsroom. You guys on the Members Nutrition text line and the phone lines, they're wide open for you. 615-737-9986. You can also watch us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Super Talk TV. We were playing audio from J.D. Vance outside the Trump trial. He wasn't the only one there. Tommy Tuberville was there as well. The more I hear from Tuberville, the more I like him. Absolutely based. This was his take on being inside the courtroom for the trial of Donald Trump.
Here's what I'm seeing, too. It is depressing. That courtroom is depressing. This is New York City, the icon of our country, and we got a courtroom that's the most depressing thing I've ever been in. Mental anguish is trying to be pushed on the Republican candidate for the President of the United States this year. That's all this is. He's been here a month. I am disappointed in looking at the supposedly American citizens in that courtroom, that the DA comes in and he acts like it is his Super Bowl. And I guess it is, to be noticed. But that's what's happening in this country.
Do you ever kind of like take a step back? I was listening to this audio clip last night, and I felt like I kind of had like an out-of-body experience to be like, wow. You know what I mean? Like you look back, it's like the former president is leading in all the polls, and he's on trial. I mean, even the fact that he is running for a second term and it's non-sequential, right? Like it's not one after the other. That's history in itself, right? That's a big deal. But you kind of like take a step back and you look at what's going on in this country. And it's like, whoa, how did we get here? It really is an amazing time to be alive. The history that we're experiencing every day, we can't even really quantitate it. You know what I mean? It's how do you measure what we're seeing? It's wild. And they got a star witness today, Michael Cohen. He was testifying yesterday as well. Tuberville had some thoughts on Michael Cohen also.
I'm sitting there listening to a guy on the stand that they had to get out of house arrest because he lied in another court to testify in this court. He's a convicted felon. I mean, this guy, he's up there giving an acting scene, and all of a sudden he comes out and says, oh, I have recorded President Trump on my telephone. This guy worked for President Trump. I mean, how can you be convinced by somebody that is a serial liar? I mean, there should be no reason that anybody should listen to this guy. But at the end of the day, the Democrats are trying to beat President Trump in the jury box because they can't beat him at the ballot box.
And a lot of people see that to be the case. A majority of the country, if you will. Elon Musk even commented on this on Twitter last night, yesterday afternoon, and it was the best take. He said the more unfair the attacks on Trump seem to the public, the higher he will rise in the polls. And I think to take a step back and you look at what's been happening to Trump, I mean, even going all the way back to the mugshot and even before that, it's like this has been a net positive for the former president. Sure, he's lost some money, but he's going to end up walking into the presidency because of all this. Because the guy that's running against him can't campaign. He can't speak. So they've chosen to go after Donald Trump with lawfare, and everybody understands what time it is. It's time to hop on the Trump train. We're careening towards November. It's the days are going to be long, and we're going to look back, and the months are going to be quick, and we're going to be there before you know it. I can't wait. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories, and the risk of severe weather in Middle Tennessee has increased to a level 2 out of 5. It's a line of storms that will develop out west, then move east to our area later this afternoon, then taper off overnight. Full forecast in 2 minutes. 8 dead, dozens injured in a crash in Florida. The Florida Highway Patrol and Marion County Fire Rescue say a bus carrying 53 laborers to a watermelon farm was headed west on a 2-lane highway when a Ford Ranger coming the opposite direction swerved into the oncoming lane. Stay vigilant at the ATM in Middle Tennessee. That according to Franklin Police, who put out a news release on a spike in reports of bank jugging. That's when people watch you at the ATM, then follow you and rob you at another location. And in the hush money trial of former President Trump, testimony could get heated as Trump's lawyers will cross-examine former Trump attorney Michael Cohen today. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The Guaranteed Offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lockboxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
10:35 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand, Mac Maury producing, Ken Weaver in the newsroom. You guys on the Members Nutrition text line and the phone line, 615-737-9986. Same number for both. I always say, like, we got our crew in here, but the most important member of our team is you and what you guys add to the conversation. Cran in Silver Point wants to add something to the conversation. What's up, Cran?
Yeah, I am a huge fan of the Daily Wire, and they keep talking about how we need to stop talking about November 5th. We need to talk about early voting. The Democrats are so much better at early voting and vote harvesting and whatever. We need to start talking about the election starts. It says 20 days on our local website, so October 16th.
Yeah.
The election starts October 16th.
I
we
hear
need to get everybody out to vote October 16th and 17th and 18th.
I hear where you're coming from, and I think it makes sense in some states. Like, you know, Arizona had all those issues on election day with their voting machines.
Tennessee's solid red.
But I don't know. Me personally, Cran, I still don't like early voting. I just don't like it.
Well,
I'm an election day guy, and I know that I know it's going to be different for everybody. And I'm not criticizing you if you want to vote early, but for me,
can you explain why is that feeling?
I don't know. I just it gives me the heebie-jeebies sending in a ballot early. Where does it go? Who gets their hands on it?
Oh, all the nice people that you talk to and look at right there. Is that really just a feeling thing?
Yeah, it's just a feeling. It's like a gut, visceral feeling. I want to stick to election day, and I know that might not be for everybody. And I'm not knocking if you want early voting. And I know a lot of the guys support early voting. Me personally, I'm like, November 5th. I'll do it on the 5th.
One more question.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't happen that often in Tennessee, but what happens when there's massive snowstorms on November 5th? And, like, everybody decides to not even leave their house.
You know what?
Could have voted
Here's
3
the thing.
or 4 days ago.
Cran, if there are massive snowstorms on November 5th, do you know who that's going to help the most? Trump. Because you know what voters are more enthusiastic about their candidate? Conservatives.
Oh, I definitely do, yes.
And I think come hell or high water, conservatives are going to get out there and vote on November 5th. I don't know anybody motivated enough to risk their lives for Biden.
Just for a second, I'm not worried about snowstorms in Tennessee on November 5th. I'm worried about the whole country.
I hear you.
But we should encourage the whole country. Republican voters should get out there, and if they're not going to be able to get out there on Election Day for any kind of tsunami crack opened up in between the ground between them and their polling station, you should really encourage Republicans to vote early, because the Democrats do it 1,000,000 times better than we do.
I encourage people to vote, just vote, and vote whatever way you feel comfortable. I'm going to stick with being an election day guy.
Okay.
Hey, I appreciate your call.
I do love my polling place. It is a really beautiful high school.
My polling place is right across the street, and I'm gonna.
Oh, that's helpful.
I'm gonna jump on the Boot Leather Express, and I'm gonna hoof it over there.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, my polling place is a beautiful high school with like marble columns and beautiful banners, and it makes you want to be smarter.
Bookshelves that smell of rich mahogany.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
I didn't see the bookshelves, but lots of banners and marble columns.
I'm sure you can get a whiff of the mahogany. All right. I appreciate your call, Cran. That's an Anchorman reference. I don't know if anybody got that. Danny in Springfield wants to talk early voting. What's up, Danny?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
A couple things. Well, the last caller obviously enjoys her coffee, which is great. She's very enthusiastic about getting out early and voting for Trump, which I am as well. And I'm going to second her suggestion. I think we do have to get out early, because I think this has to be, as President Trump said, a tsunami, an undeniable. They can try to rig every way and and
Too big
boat
to rig.
harvest and all this other stuff.
Too big to rig.
Too big to rig. We got to have it. The other thing I wanted to comment on, if I could, why do you guys constantly have ABC News for your news break?
I don't know. Hey, Mac. That's Mac's department. Mac.
Well,
it's Dan's department.
We don't know.
Why would you have a liberal source like that with a bunch of phony lies and an agenda they're pushing that's, for the news break on these types of shows? It's annoying.
I hear you. I think that those decisions are made tiers above us.
Yeah, it's a bad look, guys. It's a bad look.
I'm just grateful that they let me get on and debunk the fake news.
I know. I guess it's got some fodder there. But I never hear you guys pop on after and start checking off the boxes for today's agenda of word salad that they're trying to push over on everybody. It's ridiculous.
I do know that when they run it during Murphy's show, he does pop on and he pops off quite often.
Yeah. Well, we need more of it. How about this? We just don't have them. Put Fox on or and those guys aren't great either, but geez, we don't need to be accosted in the middle of the day when we're trying to get the Republican Party solid and together and back things.
I hear you, Danny.
I want factual news, and that ain't it.
Danny, I don't want you accosted at all, my friend. I appreciate the call.
Sometimes it's fun, though. Sometimes it's fun to be accosted.
Sometimes you need the rage, right? I appreciate the call, Danny. Danny's great. I like how he said, I don't like Fox News either. It's like, we're running out of alternatives.
Yeah, I don't know what you want.
You know how we feel about Fox News.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty clear.
Because we're Fox News, and we suck.
Let's go to Marissa in Kentucky. What's up, Marissa?
Hey, Matt. Talking about this early voting, I agree with you in the fact of having weeks of early voting is absolutely ridiculous. But in Kentucky, we'll have like 2 days. Say we've got an election coming up next Tuesday.
Okay.
And so we'll have voting. Early voting will be Thursday and Friday, and then the polls will be open Tuesday, which is really good in that it's close together. It gives you some options to vote. If you're going to be out of town Tuesday, you can still vote without having to do the absentee, or you can at least just kind of go with your convenience those 3 days. And so that way, if you end up sick on Election Day, you don't miss the voting.
I hear that. I appreciate the call, Marissa. Gary in Nashville, you're next on Super Talk.
Okay, here's the reason I want to early vote.
Tell me, Gary.
What if I have a heart attack, car crash, earthquake, bad weather? I don't care. The whole business is we've got to tsunami. Now, if the whole country, by federal election law, was on only 1 day to vote, all 50 states, and that was November 5th, I can see it. But as long as we've got to seize our country back, we got to use every means possible, and that's every second, every minute of a day given to go and vote. I mean, if you have to crawl on glass, nails to get there to vote, because the Democrats, with the corrupt judicial system and election system, have got to be overwhelmed to such a degree that there's no way they can ever win this federal election cycle.
No, I hear you, man. I just I don't know. I'm not motivated to early vote. I like my election day voting. But
I got you.
I'm not knocking you, man, and I'm not knocking anybody. I appreciate the call, Gary. I think all your reasons are valid, and that's cool. I'm still gonna do November 5th. You know, that's just me. I don't know. How, people don't agree with me. Clearly, that's okay. That's okay. I got a couple texts on ABC News.
Yeah, there's a couple great ones.
Sharon, who's a member of the RPMC, the Red Pilled Moms Club, said the late great Phil Valentine used to intro ABC News as ABC what passes for news.
8335 said, show me on the doll where ABC News touched you.
And then 8203 said, I actually love listening to the ABC News on WTN just for the contrast. I think that's one of the best points to have it. Listen, you should be listening to everybody. Don't get caught in an echo chamber. Listen to both sides of a story and then make your own determination. And I think if you look at ABC News as kind of that contrast, then it's a good thing that we have it. It is. But listen, the election is coming mid-October to November. I'm doing that for you early voters. That's when the election's coming. You know what? To be fair, it does make me feel like the time is going to be a little bit shorter till we get rid of Joe Biden.
Less time. Yeah, exactly.
That's nice. That's nice. I wanted to talk about the Chiefs kicker. The Chiefs kicker is absolutely based. What's his name?
Harrison Butker.
Harrison Butker.
The butt kicker.
The butt kicker. So he was given a commencement speech at Benedictine College. Is that how you pronounce it? Benedictine?
Yeah, Benedictine? Benedictine? Yeah, I think
Benedictine.
Be careful.
Oh, jeez. I love this guy. He came in and gave the most red-pilled speech for these students, commencement speech, that I've heard in a long time. He's talking about the issues in America. He goes off on Biden and more.
While COVID might have played a large role throughout your formative years, it is not unique. Bad policies and poor leadership have negatively impacted major life issues. Things like abortion, IVF, surrogacy, euthanasia, as well as a growing support for degenerate cultural values in media, all stem from the pervasiveness of disorder.
Whew. I heard that and I was like, I'm all in. Give me some more, man. Drop some more truth on these kids. If anything that the next generation needs, it's more hard truths. And the Chiefs kicker is going off. And he goes off on Biden in particular.
Our own nation is led by a man who publicly and proudly proclaims his Catholic faith, but at the same time is delusional enough to make the sign of the cross during a pro-abortion rally. He has been so vocal in his support for the murder of innocent babies that I'm sure to many people, it appears that you can be both Catholic and pro-choice. He is not alone.
No, he's not alone. And he continues. He says, like, you know, the people pushing COVID lockdowns and the people pushing transgender ideology, that they're doing this and they seem to have something in common.
They all have a glaring thing in common. They are Catholic. This is an important reminder that being Catholic alone doesn't cut it. These are the sorts of things we are told in polite society to not bring up. You know, the difficult and unpleasant things. But if we are going to be men and women for this time in history, we need to stop pretending that the Church of Nice is a winning proposition. We must always speak and act in charity, but never mistake charity for cowardice. It is safe to say that over the past few years, I've gained quite the reputation for speaking my mind. I never envisioned myself nor wanted to have this sort of a platform, but God has given it to me, so I have no other choice but to embrace it and preach more hard truths about accepting your lane and staying in it.
Now, I want to point out, you know, he's talking to Catholics specifically. He's at a Catholic university. He's talking about Joe Biden giving the sign of the cross at a pro-abortion rally, which I'm sure you saw the video. Absolutely abhorrent. But this isn't just a Catholic issue. A lot of the problems in this country come from a lack of faith, a lack of a moral compass. But this is across many different churches. I've been in Baptist churches where they have this issue. I've been in Catholic churches where they have this issue. I was raised Catholic when I grew up. I go to World Outreach Church now. This is an issue that affects so many churches. This is an issue that affects so many people of God. It's like you go along to get along. And he says, as the church, you know, because we are the church, right? The people, we're the church. We have to speak the truth. We have to. That's what we need to do. And within the church, we have people that say, stay out of politics. We have people that say, stay silent.
Don't be mistaken, even within the church, people in polite Catholic circles will try to persuade you to remain silent. There even was an award-winning film called Silence, made by a fellow Catholic, wherein one of the main characters, a Jesuit priest, abandoned the church and as an apostate, when he died, is seen grasping a crucifix, quiet and unknown to anyone but God. As a friend of Benedictine College, His Excellency Bishop Robert Barron said in his review of the film, it was exactly what the cultural elite want to see in Christianity: private, hidden away, and harmless.
That's exactly what they want. They don't want you acting out your faith. They don't want you speaking truth. This is all churches. And he says, our faith has always been counterculture. I always say to people, the next generation is going to rebel. And how do you rebel against this leftist culture? Well, you become conservative. You believe in Jesus and the resurrection. And, you get married and have a family. That's the most counterculture thing you can do now. But the Chiefs kicker says, our faith has always been counterculture.
Our Catholic faith has always been countercultural. Our Lord, along with countless followers, were all put to death for their adherence to her teachings. The world around us says that we should keep our beliefs to ourselves whenever they go against the tyranny of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We fear speaking truth because now, unfortunately, truth is in the minority. Congress just passed a bill where stating something as basic as the biblical teaching of who killed Jesus could land you in jail.
Yep.
But make no mistake, before we even attempt to fix any of the issues plaguing society, we must first get our own house in order, and it starts with our leaders.
Yep. I love what he's saying. I got another guy that's acting out these principles, John Amanchukwu, Pastor John. He's joining the show at 11 o'clock. He's got a new book coming out in 2 weeks called Hoodwinked, 10 Lies Americans Believe in the Truth That Will Set Them Free. He's also got an event coming up at the end of July in Florida that he'd like to invite you to as well. We're going to talk to him. I'm very excited about the conversation. But as people of faith, listen, the time for being silent and polite and quiet has long passed. And we got to put our faith into action. It's 10:52 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
11 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. And the risk of severe weather in Middle Tennessee has increased to a level 2 out of 5. We're talking about this afternoon, then tapering off overnight. Full forecast in 2 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, police in Franklin say they're seeing an uptick in robberies after people leave ATMs. It's called bank jugging. It's when someone watches you withdraw money, then bottles you when you leave and robs you at another location. Franklin police say they've taken multiple reports in recent weeks. They ask that you be aware of your surroundings when you're at the ATM. Multiple fatalities after a head-on crash in Central Florida.
A privately operated bus was transporting 53 workers to a watermelon field when, according to Florida Highway Patrol investigators, it was sideswiped by a pickup truck that was coming from the opposite direction. The bus left the 2-lane highway, went through a fence, and overturned in a field. FHP says 8 people died and 40 were hospitalized.
That's Jim Ryan reporting. And right now in New York City, if President Trump speaks to defend himself against attacks by hush money trial witnesses, the judge threatens to jail him. So in recent days, Trump's allies have shown up to speak for him. And today is Speaker of the House Mike Johnson.
The American people are not going to let this stand. Election day cannot get here soon enough. And we will continue to shine a light on all of this in Congress because we have that constitutional responsibility.
All of a sudden, President Biden's trying to show he's tough on China, announcing new tariffs on Chinese EVs, semiconductors, and batteries. Selena Wang says it might have something to do with November.
With the election 6 months away, both Biden and Trump are fighting to be tougher on China and to win over those working class voters. And new polling shows that Trump is ahead of Biden in several key battleground states where manufacturing is a top issue. According to a new New York Times poll, in Michigan, President Biden is down 7 points against Trump among registered voters. In Pennsylvania, Biden is behind by 3 points, but in Wisconsin, Biden leads Trump by 2 points.
That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
The Guaranteed Offer is the easiest way to sell your home. It's really simple. We bring you an all-cash offer. You close in as little as 21 days. No home inspections, no lock boxes, no open houses. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer and start packing.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt Murphy for Members Nutrition. I want to tell you about the Members Nutrition difference, and I want to encourage you to go over to the Members Nutrition website. Number one, they believe at Members Nutrition that they can sell vitamins and supplements at a lower cost point, and they're doing it every single day at membersnutrition.com. Number two, they want to make these products right here in the United States of America, not from some overseas company, and they do that every single day. I encourage you to go to membersnutrition.com. You'll get 50% off your purchase price at checkout. You don't have to put in any codes. Just go to membersnutrition.com. Once again, membersnutrition.com.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis, and I am so glad that California Closets has fixed my closet catastrophe. After exact measuring and planning, they came over and got to work. Yeah, once it was all plotted out on their 3D CAD system, the pieces are measured, cut, and precisely installed into my space. It was clean, fast, and professional, and above all, my new closets look and function great. Now, this was my dormer, and now this is my new dormer thanks to California Closets. Look at all of this added space for shirts and shoes, you name it, and it is cut so precisely, simply amazing. And my old closet that has now been reborn as the ultimate in style and functionability, making the best use of the space that I had. They can work on just about anything: bedrooms, garages, home offices, closets, pantries, and so much more. Find them online, CaliforniaClosets.com, and see what they can do for you. You can schedule a free design consultation. Mention my name, CaliforniaClosets.com.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. We're supposed to have Pastor John Amachukwu calling in. He got hung up yesterday at a funeral service. I said, no worries. Let's push it to today. Having a bit of trouble getting in touch with him. So we may or may not have the pastor joining us. In the meantime, Ashley in Hendersonville has been hanging on the line, and she wants to talk about early voting. What's up, Ashley?
Hi, Chris. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for holding.
Good. I just wanted to first say thank you so much for your service and dedication to getting information out for us to definitely consider. I wanted to piggyback first on what you had said about empowering pastors to address the important issue of the policies from their platform. Your encouragement enables them to use their influence to advocate for positive change and promote justice within their communities, and I just appreciate you for that and agree with you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I also want to go ahead and comment on the early voting. The reason, first of all, I agree with you 100%. I love that you are getting this information out for us to look up and learn about both. The reason I believe in what you're saying is it's the tradition of voting on Election Day in November because it ensures that everyone has access to the same information and that decisions are made collectively. I want to mention also that early voting could potentially lead to uninformed decisions, manipulation of the voting process. I have noticed it in our county and city voting where you'll have a Democrat and a Republican and then an independent, maybe because they signed up late, it's maybe a Republican, but people can run as rhinos, which is Republican in name only. So a lot of people think they're voting for the Republican, which happens to be a rhino or a Democrat, and then they change the way they do things once they get into office.
And
we're seeing this in seats happen all the time, these turnovers.
And
so I want to let you know that I agree with you. I encourage everybody who's listening to take the time to really review who's running, look at how they vote on their voting records. Don't just vote because you know somebody who knows somebody. And it's really important for us to consider all of this before we ever vote.
Yeah, no, and I hear you on new information. I think as far as the presidential election is concerned, I think everybody's pretty much made up their mind, and I don't see any new information coming to light here in the next couple months that's really going to change things. But when you look at other races, Fetterman versus Oz for the Senate in Pennsylvania comes to mind. When people were early voting in Pennsylvania, then they saw the debate and they saw that Fetterman couldn't speak. And the most Googled the most Googled search after that debate was, how do I change my early vote? So I think that especially as you go down the ladder, that becomes a much bigger issue. I think in the presidential race, people have their mind made up. And I think that that's not going to change. But I'm a voting, day of guy.
Absolutely. I am too. I agree with you. I encourage everybody, like you had said, everybody listening, just please go out and vote.
Yeah. I'm not saying don't vote early. I'm saying vote any way you feel comfortable. I feel comfortable on Election Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Chris. I appreciate you and have a great rest of your day.
Hey, thank you, Ashley. Thank you for holding. I appreciate you.
Yes, thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Ashley was sweet.
Very nice.
People have made their mind up, though. At least like when you're talking early voting, day of voting for Biden and Trump.
April Reed on
People have made their mind up, and it's because of, what they see going on.
Producer Price Index.
And, sorry, this keeps auto-playing. When you look at what's going on, Bidenomics is ruining the country. CNBC just reported that inflation rose much more than it expected in April. Much more.
April Reed on Producer Price Index, the wholesale inflation gauge, up 0.5% on headline, up 0.5%. That's up 0.5%, and that is the hottest read, just since February when it was up 0.6. And if we look at ex-food and energy, same number, more than double expectations, as Becky pointed out, up 0.5%. That is the hottest read there. It equals January. You have to go to July of last year to get a hotter read. Another hot read is Food, Energy, and Trade. It's up 0.4, exactly double expectations. To find a hotter read, you have to go to January of this year when it was up 0.6.
Inflation keeps rising, but the Biden administration will tell you, listen, Biden's top priority is lowering costs. Well, it's going to be hard when inflation keeps rising. And I don't know why they send Janet Yellen out at all. But they do. They continue to send Janet Yellen out. And Janet Yellen says, lowering costs, that's our main focus.
The cost of living in many areas is very high, and it is a concern to Americans. And it is President Biden's top priority to do all he can to bring down the cost of living.
That's his top priority. If that's his top priority, he's failing. 100%. He's failing. And so they go after Trump with the legal cases. House Speaker Mike Johnson joined Trump at the New York City courtroom today. He called the trial a sham. Mike Johnson wasn't the only one there. Byron Donalds showed up as well. I like Byron a lot. He's outside the Trump trial, and he says, there's no crime. The only crime happening here is the political persecution from the Democrat Party.
Ladies and gentlemen of America, this trial is a joke. This thing is a farce. We were in there all morning. Michael Cohen basically sat there and said, he invoiced legal expenses. The Trump campaign, the Trump organization, not the campaign, paid out money in legal expenses. Where's the crime? There is no crime. The only crime that's happening here is this Democrat judge and the Democrat Party prosecuting their political rival right in the middle of a presidential election. The crime here is that the issues facing our nation are not being addressed by the Democrats, but they want to go after Donald Trump. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing that has been wrong here. Nothing that has been done poorly by President Trump. The only thing that's being done wrong is by this judge. His daughter's making money, raising money for Democrats. And all of the fundraising emails and all the fundraising things are about this trial that his daughter is using.
It's amazing. He says Biden's not focusing on the issues. It's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Janet Yellen goes out there and says Biden's top priority is lowering costs. It's like, no, it seems like the top priority of the Democrats right now is getting Trump. That's their top priority. And the judge is conflicted. His daughter's making money off of Democrats. She has her hands in numerous pots. It's a sham.
He won't recuse himself. This is a travesty of justice.
Yep.
This is a misuse of the justice system. And look around New York. New York's got plenty of issues. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. You have all of NYPD's finest down here because of this travesty going on in that courtroom. Meanwhile, the citizens of New York are less safe, and the district attorney in New York is not prosecuting real crime. He's a Soros-backed DA going after his chief political rival in Donald Trump.
It's amazing because it's something I didn't really even think about. You think about how much police presence you're going to need at that courtroom. Those are officers off the street. New York is falling apart. Falling apart. But the focus is getting Trump. The focus is not protecting citizens. The focus is not making America better. The focus is making sure Donald Trump isn't president.
America is better than this. And so, unfortunately, it's going to take the American people this November to let their voices be heard on this travesty of justice that's occurring and making sure that Donald Trump is the 47th president of the United States.
Should we tell Byron Donalds early voting starts October 16th so we don't say November?
I've never seen anything like it. This is a joke. It is a farce. It is a travesty. We are better than this as Americans. And unfortunately, the Democrat Party has lost their ever-loving minds.
Well, that happened a long time ago. They lost their mind a long time ago. I think we can all agree with that. Vivek Ramaswamy is there as well. It does seem like this is the VP audition, right? Does it not? Everybody outside the Trump trial. Somebody on the Members Nutrition text line asked me about Tulsi Gabbard. being VP, meh. Better than Nikki Haley, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think it would be better. I think she would be better than Nikki Haley. I don't know. Like, Tulsi Gabbard's great. I'm cool with her. I don't want to bring any more left-leaning anything into the Republican Party. But, there are betting odds out there. People are betting on who's going to be the VP.
All righty. Who's the favorite?
Trump said Nikki Haley's not going to be VP. There were rumors swirling. He's like, no, it's not Nikki. The donors to Trump's campaign like Marco Rubio.
Wow.
I know. I don't understand that either. I don't think
out of nowhere.
I don't think about Marco Rubio at all. Does anybody, the conservatives, think about Marco Rubio? I mean, maybe you guys do on the members nutrition text line. You let me know. 615-737-9986. Do you like Marco Rubio? The odds aren't really in his favor, though. He's pretty high up. Okay, so people bet on this kind of stuff. The best odds coming in at plus 600, Doug Burgum.
How much? What was it?
Plus 600.
Gotcha.
Right behind him, Tulsi Gabbard at plus 900. So number one is Burgum, according to betting odds. These are the top 5. Number 1 is Burgum. Number 2 is Tulsi Gabbard. Then we have a tie for third. J.D. Vance at plus 1,200, which it blows my mind that he's not higher on this list. Doug Burgum and Tulsi Gabbard are beating out J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance. That's wild to me. And Marco Rubio is tied with him at plus 1,200 as well.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well if Rubio's tied at 12-1 with JD.
No, and Rubio runs into the same issues that people saw about DeSantis, right? He's in Florida as well.
Activate hand gesture.
Yeah, but we don't want to activate that. No. And then Elise Stefanik comes in the top 5.
Wow. No, so we got multiple text members, Nutrition Super Text line. Byron Donalds. No Byron Donalds there in the top 5.
No Byron Donalds in the top 5. I don't like Elise Stefanik. I get bad vibes from her.
Tell me who you do like. I think that's probably easier. Most of these VP candidates, your reaction is
meh.
Yeah. On pretty much all of them, but I think 2 in my mind that I remember.
And I think the main thing is a VP is not going to sway me one way or the other. And I don't think it's going to sway anybody from voting against or voting for Trump. Like, I don't think a VP is going to come in and an independent's going to go, okay, now I can vote for him. Do you? Do you think that that's going to happen?
No, the only one that would, and it wouldn't be marginal enough to do it, is Nikki Haley. Because there's...
Yuck.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah.
That would sway me the other way. Yeah. I take it back. If he chose Nikki Haley, I might really be turned off. But at least Stefanik, what has she done? What has she done that merits top 5 betting odds for VP? Anybody? She got mocked by SNL that one time. Does that mean she's a VP candidate? I don't know. Miss me with that. J.D. Vance is my guy. And I'm surprised Sarah Huckabee Sanders isn't on the list also. I think she would be absolutely great. But the North Dakota governor now leads the list, followed by Democrat turned Republican Tulsi Gabbard, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, and New York Rep. Elise Stefanik. Missing from the list of top contenders, notably, Tim Scott.
Vivek.
But they already said that Vivek isn't going to be the VP. He's going to get a spot in the cabinet. I think that he's still trying to audition, and he's out there in front of the courthouse today doing just that.
Congressman Mills and Congressman Donalds for laying out the political backdrop here. This is a politicized persecution that is nakedly apparent. What I want to do is dive a little bit deeper into what we actually learned today in that courtroom. What do we see in there? First of all, I learned a lot from being in there in person. It is one of the most depressing places I have been in my life, but it is fitting because the only thing more depressing than the environment of that courtroom is what's actually happening in there. It's straight out of a Kafka novel. The prosecution's main strategy appears to be to bore the jurors into submission. And if you look in that direction, sadly, it may appear to actually be working. Now, I would like for anybody here in the press, anybody at home, anybody in MSNBC or the media afterwards, to clearly state what exactly is the crime that Donald Trump committed.
Here's the thing, Vivek. There is no crime. They can't state the crime. They won't state the crime.
Oh, wait. We have not heard a good answer to that question. It has been vague until today. You heard Michael Cohen's testimony, after which I would say it is less clear than ever what that crime actually was. They'll say falsifying business records. Well, let's look at who did we learn falsified business records today? Yet, hour, 2 hours, felt like it could have been 7 hours of Michael Cohen talking about how he falsified business records. Okay, so you have a guy who has been a perjurer in the past that is now saying he falsified business records. What is the crime that Donald Trump committed? Now, it appears to be what they might allege is some sort of bookkeeping error or whatever. The real bookkeeping that we need accounting of is Judge Merchan's own family member collecting millions of dollars as a Democratic operative, using the existence of this trial as a fundraising ploy for Democrats. This is unconscionable.
It is. That's what this is. It's a fundraising ploy for Democrats. That's really what this is. Keith on the road wants to talk VP. Keith, who do you think?
Hey, man, I like a lot of the folks that you're talking about, but the main thing to me, we need somebody tough, that's seasoned, that can take on our enemies should something happen to Trump, and that's why I say somebody like General Mike Flynn or somebody. We need somebody that knows the operation, but, I've heard it, he might be a covert. I don't know, but they prosecuted him. I know Obama didn't like him, so that makes me like him better.
Yeah, hey, if Obama doesn't like you, that's something to hang your hat on. Real quick, Mike in Lawrenceburg, who do you like for VP?
Well, I got two. One is Tulsi Gabbard. I think she's got a good military mind, and I think she would help us out.
Nah.
And I don't know if there's a law against it, but I wouldn't mind seeing his son, Junior, go for VP.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't think that's going to happen.
We can have 12 years of Trump now back to back.
12 years of Trump. All right, well, now I might buy into that. I think though, and I don't know, maybe you've heard something like this, Mike, and I appreciate your call. It seems like in political circles, people point more towards Eric as the guy that will run for office as opposed to Don Jr. And I think that's why Eric is a little bit more reserved and not out there the same way Don Jr. is. Don Jr. will go on his podcast and make big Mike jokes. I don't know. I get where your head's at, though. It's 11:22 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Right before lunchtime, got a 29-minute delay in Williamson County, Brentwood to be precise, 65 southbound right before Old Hickory Boulevard. You got a crash blocking the right 2 lanes. Risk of severe weather increases. Police trying to identify a man in security video after a boy claims someone took video or photos of him in a Middle Tennessee mall bathroom. These stories coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Ken Weaver. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Getting quite a few texts on the VP front. Steve said on the Members Nutrition text line, "Why are you so meh on Tulsi Gabbard? She's a soldier. Geez, get over it." So I replied back, yeah, she's a former Democrat. Are we supposed to forget that Tulsi Gabbard tried to be the Democrat nominee for president in 2020? And now, because she says she's quit the party and she's a Republican, we have to assume that she holds all the conservative values we hold. Is that what we're supposed to assume? Steve said, yes, she was, but she quit the party. And I said, but you can't just change your values overnight. You're not going to change that left lean overnight. Steve said people's values change all the time. She's in her mid-40s. Mine changed over the years. 3 years ago, she tried to be the Democrat presidential nominee. And you know what? To her credit, she's the reason why Kamala Harris is not president right now. She ended Kamala Harris's presidential hopefuls, right? She ended that hope. For that, I thank her. But let's not pretend that Tulsi Gabbard is conservative at all. Let's not. You can quit the Dem Party. It doesn't mean you're a conservative. Okay? And then 3036 texted in and said, I hate to say it, but no to JD Vance. He says, if our ticket is 2 white males, it will make a lot of folks stay home. I hate that argument. We are supposed to be the party of meritocracy. Pick the best person for the job. Black, blue, green, I don't care. Male, female, they, thems, it doesn't matter. Pick the best person for the job. If the best person for the job is JD Vance, who cares that he's a white male?
Members Nutrition Super Text line, Ronald Reagan used to be a Democrat, Chris. 7269, Trump was a Democrat.
Yeah, but 3 years ago, she was trying to be the nominee for the Dems for president. 3 years. I understand people can change, but like that quick, I don't know. I don't want her to be a heartbeat away from the White House. I just don't. Rich in Alabama, what do you think about VP?
Mike Pompeo was Secretary of State.
Mike Pompeo?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He tried to have Julian Assange killed. He tried to have
every guy.
He tried to have Julian Assange murdered. Like
that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean he's been around the world and he's well educated. He would be a tough man to deal with the foreign affairs. Help President Trump.
I appreciate the call, Richard. Gonna hit him with a collective meh.
I feel bad for all these callers. What about this guy, Chris?
I hate him.
I hate that guy.
No, Mike Pompeo. He's a former CIA guy. He tried to have Julian Assange murdered in the Ecuadorian embassy. And you know what Chuck Schumer says about those intelligence agency guys? They got 5 ways from Saturday at getting back at you. Hard pass. It's 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Ken Weaver with your top stories. The risk of severe weather in Middle Tennessee is increased to a level 2 out of 5. Looking at later this afternoon as when it might happen, if it does. And in traffic, we've got a 19-minute delay in Brentwood. It's going to be southbound 65. The right 2 lanes are blocked right there at Old Hickory Boulevard by a crash. Right now in Middle Tennessee, Franklin police investigating after a boy claims a man took video or photos of him using a restroom at Cool Springs Galleria. This happened on a Saturday afternoon, May 4th. 11-year-old boy says someone held their cell phone under the stall, pointing the camera in his direction. Police posted surveillance video online that clearly shows a man with a long blonde hair and black beard exiting that bathroom. Labor Department's measurement of wholesale prices increased by 0.5 percentage point in April, more than expected. The 2.2% yearly increase, the largest jump in more than a year. Another illustration of persistent inflation. Meanwhile, not much movement on Wall Street heading into the noon hour. The Dow is flat. The S&P and NASDAQ are up, but only slightly. That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
$11:36 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. People on the Members Nutrition text line are hilarious. Who does Chris like for VP? Meh. Jackie and Gallatin, who do you like for VP?
What about Condoleezza Rice? She used to be the Secretary of State. She's smart, articulate. She's a woman, and she's black. And she's a Republican.
I feel like this is going to turn into a meme because I don't like it. I want to move away. I want to move away from the Bush era Republicans. You said shame on me?
Shame on you. That's the perfect choice.
That's the perfect choice?
She used to be the Secretary of State. She knows how to handle people. And she speaks 7 languages.
I mean, I don't know. None of that really impresses me. yeah. You could use Google Translate nowadays.
Everybody liked her. You can't find one thing against her. Not one.
I just did. I want to move away from the old school Bush Republican.
Okay.
I appreciate you calling in, Jackie.
Thank you.
Corey in the borough, you're next on Super Talk.
Well, first of all,
listen, Corey, I feel bad. Which VP pick am I going to rip to shreds for you?
Well, actually, I kind of want to pose a question to see what non-political person like a Charlie Kirk or a Chris Hand or somebody would you pick to be the VP?
I would,
because I think that would be a good way to get younger people because you can find somebody in their early 30s to do that. You know.
Yeah, no, I agree. Listen, I'm a big fan of Charlie, obviously. I don't know, man. I think that if you wanted to go for like an out of the box pick, I love Tucker Carlson, but that's not going to happen. I think we're absolutely going to get somebody who's already in politics, right? So then who's it going to be? I keep going back to I really like JD Vance. I really like Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Sarah is who I would want it to be if it was somebody political for sure. But I don't think she would do it solely because she hasn't finished her term as the governor. I don't think, correct?
Yeah, and she's doing so much good work in Arkansas, banning China from buying farmland, doing all those kind of moves. Like she's clutch. I wouldn't want to lose her as a governor because I'd be worried about who we're going to get in there instead. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I was like out of the box kind of pick. Because I just that's all I can think about, only because there are no really, really good political people, but there are really, really good non-political people.
Yep, I hear you. I appreciate the call, Corey.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Buddy in Woodbury, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, man?
Hey, okay, I'm going to tell you, my 2 favorites are Kid Rock or Ted Nugent, but since that's probably not going to happen, I would go with Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
I'm with you. I think she'd be great. And she knows the ins and outs of the White House. She's already kind of, she's acclimated to what that's going to look like.
Right on. I'll tell you what, Ted Nugent will be a good one.
Ted would be fun. He would absolutely be fun. Hey, I appreciate the call.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, thanks. My favorite Ted Nugent thing is when he's talking about vegans. Have you ever seen this clip?
I don't think so.
So he's talking about vegans, and he's like, you want to be a vegan? He's like, do you know what I have to do to grow your soy? He's like, I have to kill so many animals. He's like, every bunny rabbit, every squirrel, every rodent, every bug. He's like, I'm killing more animals for your soy than I am for your steak.
Dang.
Isn't that based? Yeah, I know. I really like that. John in Kentucky, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, John?
Hey, I got 2 choices. Number 1, a real strong conservative black male, Mark Robinson from North Carolina.
Isn't he? But he's running for governor in North Carolina, correct?
True. Now, yes. Now the other one, and I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you. Tulsi Gabbard. Why? Strong on defense. Strong on Second Amendment. I'm not too sure about the economy thing. Okay, but she is definitely against the illegal immigration also. So there's 3. And, she may have been a Democrat, but so was Donald Trump. And Donald Trump was a Democrat right up until the day he decided to be a Republican. So,
yeah,
she's an old school Democrat. Nothing wrong with old school.
I hear you. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Tulsi as VP.
Alrighty.
Hey, I appreciate your call, man. Kimberly, you're next on Super Talk. What's up, Kim?
Hey, yeah, I saw an interview with Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and she wants to stay where she's at. Like, she's really turning that state around. So she likes her job there, and I don't think she wants that VP, thing. But also, I agree with the last caller. I love Tulsi Gabbard. She's a constitutionalist. She's in the military, and she, her views are right in line with the Republicans now.
Yeah,
why don't you like her?
It just gives me pause because she ran to be the Democrat presidential nominee 3 years ago.
Right. She had to change her heart, though.
Yeah, but it worries me on some of the main issues, like when it comes down to abortion, when it comes down to the Second Amendment. I do worry that she's going to lean a little bit more left than we want.
Yeah, I don't know her views on abortion, to be honest with you. I did not hear that. But she said the Democratic Party left her. She didn't leave them.
No, and the Democrat Party, they did. I mean, they really went out of their way to not ask her any questions at that debate after she shut down Kamala Harris in Detroit.
That was funny. I did watch it.
Yeah, do you remember that? I mean, she was one of the first people to go after Kamala Harris for her marijuana conviction record.
Yeah. And all the people she put in prison, yeah.
And you got a room full of black moms in Detroit that go, yeah, we're out on her. If you're not going to win Michigan, you're not winning the presidency. So they were out. And that ruined Kamala Harris's chances at being president. Absolutely.
Well, Trump has a lot of really, really good choices. Like, he's got the cream of the crop to pick from. So I'll be happy with whoever he goes with. I think he's really giving it a lot of thought.
Yeah, and
I can't wait to find out, though.
I know. I'm dying. I'm eager to find out. I'm ready to go. Like, let's get this party rolling. Let's figure out who it is. And to be fair, if Tulsi Gabbard is the VP pick, I'm still going to vote for Trump. Like, that's not changing my mind. And just in the same way, I don't think there's any candidate that's going to come in and make me, like, a VP is not going to make me vote for the candidate.
And, Doug Burgum, he had him at his rally the other day. I think he's going to be energy secretary. I don't think he's going to be VP.
That would be a good spot for him. Secretary. I will say, Burgum really exploded onto the scene. I did not expect much out of him. And then at the Republican debates, he really made a strong case as to why he needs a seat at the table.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. Yeah, I was really surprised to see him. But Trump loves him, and he's good on energy, and I think that's going to be his energy secretary.
I think that would be a good pick. I appreciate the call, Kim.
Sure.
Thank you. Let's go to Kelly in Nashville. Kelly, what's up?
Hi there. I agree with Tulsi Gabbard, and I do like J.D. Vance, but I think getting some variation with female and, with a female VP would be good. I mean, we do need some diversity there.
I just think that's an argument we need to push back against as conservatives. We're so against DEI, and then we go, but we need a female for VP for diversity, or we need a black VP for diversity. It's like, no, hire the right person for the job.
True, that's true. But do you want to win the election and then worry about who's right for the job? But and also the lady who called about Condoleezza Rice, I think you were a little short with her. Condoleezza Rice is very smart. And, yes, I wouldn't want Bush-era people in there because you have to think she may be president, too, and we don't want her to pull that Bush-era rhino-type politics with her, I understand. But, I mean, respectfully to the lady who called, Condoleezza Rice was very intelligent. That's a great choice. I do not wouldn't go with, gosh, I can't remember. You were just saying that you were for her. Sanders, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Don't think she comes off very well with her speeches, and she was good as when she was
press secretary
with the White House and with Trump, or secretary. Yes, but sometimes I don't think she comes off as we need. And again, do like Tulsi Gabbard.
Really?
and
See,
Jody Vance.
I think it's the
And
exact
Byron
opposite.
Donalds.
I like Byron Donalds. I would take Byron, but I think he runs into that Florida issue. But Sarah Huckabee Sanders, if you want somebody that's going to be a quote-unquote diversity pick, I mean, that's somebody who's a good mom, has the political chops to do it. I disagree. I think that she speaks pretty well, and I think she'd be a home run.
I think she speaks well to the base, but I don't think she's going to pull in the middle like Tulsi Gabbard. I think I heard her do the Republican response to something, Sarah Huckabee. She was unimpressive at best. And I don't remember which occasion that was, but I just don't think she's going to be good at pulling from the middle, and that's what we're after. Who's going to be best at pulling from the middle?
I think the best. I think the best thing, and I appreciate your call, Kelly. I really do. I think the best thing at pulling from the middle that we're going to get is the economy. I don't think the VP is going to pull from the middle. I think people's grocery store prices are going to pull from the middle.
When you middle from the middle,
you got to middle from the middle. AJ in Cookeville, real quick. What's up, AJ?
Hey, thanks, Chris. You're not going to like this, but I'm all about Tulsi Gabbard and Nikki Haley because I want to win. None of this matters if we don't win, and we got to keep that Supreme Court.
I don't like it.
I know, but we got to win.
How is Nikki Haley going to help us win?
Because
is she gonna bring the surge, AJ?
She will bring some middle that we're not going to. You know how you're going to vote. I know how I'm going to vote, and 40% of us who love this nation know how we're going to vote. Just like 40% of the people who are globalists and are on the left know how they're going to vote. It's that 20% in the middle that we need, and if we don't get that 20% in the middle, they're going to go to the other side. And I think either one of those two.
But let's be honest. Like, you can make that argument for Tulsi Gabbard. Do you really think that Nikki Haley, the neocon war hawk Nikki Haley, is going to pull the middle in?
I think if we had nominated, and I love President Trump, but if we nominated Nikki Haley, we would be picking at our Supreme Court justices right now because she would have tromped all over Biden. And I'm not saying that Trump is going to lose. I'm saying it's going to be closer than had we picked Nikki Haley.
I completely disagree. I look at Nikki Haley and I see Mitt Romney and John McCain.
But they're going to pull the middle, and we got to have me and you are already going to vote for President Trump. It doesn't matter who he picks. Okay, we got to get that middle, and that's what either one of those two bring.
I'll tell you what. If he picks Nikki Haley, I will seriously think about abstaining.
No, you won't. You're going to vote for President Trump because you don't want to have Harris as president in 2 months after the election.
Ugh, yuck.
And that's what's going to happen. If he wins re-election, it's going to be her within like 4 or 5 months after the inauguration. That's what's going to happen. And you know it just well about you.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I hope that none of that happens. I appreciate your call, AJ.
All right, take care.
Hey, man, have a good one. It's 11:49 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I didn't expect to go down the VP road.
Yeah, came out of nowhere. We had a really good super text, the Members Nutrition super text line that we didn't say.
What is it?
5513. Bill Belichick, you know?
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be great.
Good demeanor, stoic.
Yeah.
Winner.
Totally.
Him or Nikki Haley?
Oh, it would be Belichick all day. Belichick all day. I would pick a brown paper bag over Nikki Haley. Like anybody. I saw one super text that said Trump, meh, 24. It's 11:50 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 11:57 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand, joined in studio by Matt Murphy.
Hello, Chris.
Hello, Matt. Matt has a fantastic 3 hours of a radio broadcast planned for you today. You sound like me. You sound like me when I'm hearing people's choices for VP.
No, that's true. I would say if I had to put an over-under on it, hour and 50 minutes.
That's good. That's what I did today.
Of radio excellence.
I felt like that. I
don't know where it's exactly going to go, so you'll have to listen for the full 3 hours. You know, I hesitate to bring this up on his show. Hey, Mac, how are you, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Have you noticed that Hand just does the one-ear headphone technique? Do you do it as well?
I do a lot of the time. Sometimes no, sometimes yes.
What's wrong with the one-ear technique?
I guess I should be impressed. I couldn't do it.
I got my mixer headphones. I can even twist it up.
Could not do it. Would drive me insane. Let me see. I'm going to try.
Just the comfortability?
So this is like
the sound?
No, it's the sound.
So this is inside baseball. Some people keep their cans on both ears, headphones. I like to have one ear out.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear myself.
If somebody's sneaking up on you?
Yeah. Got to keep your head on a swivel.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think this
isn't as bad as I thought it would be.
You've never done this? It feels more natural.
No.
I will say my left ear sometimes suffers from it.
Yep.
Your left ear suffers.
Because it's constantly getting all of the sound.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been dealing with that
Has to bear the brunt
Have
of
you
the
really?
noise.
Yeah.
No, I think it's actually a problem.
You guys should switch it up. You
it
should
does hurt
switch
a
up
little bit.
switch up ears. Kind of like switching up hands.
I don't think I can do that.
When you're like throwing ball or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly. Ambidextrous.
Yeah.
The stranger. So what do you got coming up on the show?
Nothing.
What?
Jason Whitlock's on the way. He's coming up. Jason's going to be around at host of the Fearless podcast with Jason Whitlock in the 2 o'clock hour. And before then, we're going to talk Michael Cohen, the liar that he is. We'll talk him next.
It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.